I'm Shane Lynch, and you'll probably best know me for being a member of Boyzone. But I've been keeping a secret my whole life. I can't read or write. Ever since school, I've tried to find ways to avoid being found out, because it's something that I find embarrassing.
I didn't set out to be any kind of a rebel. I just set out to survive.
5 years ago, someone did suggest I might be dyslexic, but I've yet to have it confirmed.
I don't know how I'm going to deal with it. I know I can't read and write, but I don't want to be called dumb either.
Dyslexia is a learning difficulty that can drastically affect a person's ability to read, write, and spell. An estimated 1 in 10 people are dyslexic. That's over 6 million people in Britain. But with so many people too afraid to admit it, the real figure is still unknown.
I'm still struggling at 22, and if I'd known I had it when I was younger, would it have helped me?
I want to find out how it impacts on people's lives.
I'm behind bars. I'm sick of it. Sick of waking up and looking at the same 4 walls and that big red door in front of me, locked.
By doing this program, I hope to break the taboo of asking for help. To do that, I'll have to face my own demons and be assessed for dyslexia. But it's something that fills me with fear.
I feel destructive, I feel evil, I feel reckless. Why the fuck am I coming here if this is what it's doing to me?
From the age of 17, I've been a part of Boyzone. But away from the spotlight, I prefer the peace of the countryside and spending time with my little girl, Billy Ray.
There's yellow ones, white ones, red ones.
There's no red ones there.
No red ones today.
No. My time spent with Billy is precious. The walk from home to the park, going through little things from bushes to flowers to birds to just general walk of life is very important. You can't learn that in school. You learn that hanging out with your parents. Yeah, that's very important. Hey, look over there.
Cows!
Wow. Why do you think they're all sitting down?
They're just resting because they want to look at us.
I wonder would they come over later when we're passing on the way back. I was never really an emotional guy until I had a baby. That kind of love and that bond is pretty incredible.
That slide's wet.
Billy Ray is only 3, but she's already picked up that there's something not right about my reading.
Come on, let's look at the other one. Cokie. At night time, she used to ask me to read her a story. When I'm reading her that story, she's actually, because she retains information very well, she knows I'm not reading it correctly. I'm just making it up from the pictures off the page. I was slightly, I wouldn't say upset by that, but I did have a feeling of, actually, I would like to be able to read this story. Yeah.
Like a buffalo.
Like a gruffalo.
I grew up in the 1980s in Dublin, and today I've come back to revisit a key part of my childhood. By the age of 11, I was painfully aware my reading and writing was falling way behind, and a sense of failure made school a place I came to dread.
Any excuse not to go through them doors, I would find. If I was told if I was late one more time, I'd be suspended for a week. Damn Skippy, guaranteed I was going to be late one more time.
No one picked up on the fact that I couldn't read, and a learning difficulty was certainly never mentioned.
I'm actually going back with my head held high as a 35-year-old man in a pretty nice position in life. But it could have been very different.
How are you, boss? You all right? Have you got your homework? What's up, Daddy? All right. Walk down memory lane, you all right?
Franco's one of my closest friends from school, and we're still great pals. But I've never told him of the anguish I went through to hide my secret every day in class.
Look at that, Shannon. On shot.
Oh, the fear of the life of me in here. Honest to God, the fear of life of me in here. Of how the heck do I get away yet again today? It began here, you know? It began at this very chair, this very corner, this very... looking out the corridor. Now, see that corridor direct? I know I sat in front of the door because that's freedom. That's freedom right there. So freedom ahead of me and the madness in my peripheral vision. How do we get through this day? I didn't set out to be any kind of a rebel. I just set out to survive.
I think you've done quite well, considering your struggles. I didn't realise how much you struggled, to be honest.
Because I never told you.
You probably struggled inside more than you have outside.
Absolutely.
I quickly learned that survival meant finding any way possible to avoid the gaze of my teachers.
Mostly, I would be behind and slightly hold back from the larger individual within the class. And I would make sure I was, if they sat there, I would sat here, and that was the screen from the forefront of being picked out.
What were you frightened of?
I'm frightened of being called forward to read something because I can't read. I can open a book and I can't tell you what's on that page. So I'm being scared of being exposed to other students. It's the embarrassment, it's the shame. And I made sure that never happened in my life.
I wasn't sorry to say goodbye to the school, but I left not knowing why I'd struggled.
If it's diagnosed to be dyslexia, now, well, I'm still going on a whim that someone told me once upon a time, you're dyslexic, great. However, I still don't know that for sure. I don't know if I'm dyslexic. I'm on this journey trying to figure out how kids, adults, get through life without, like myself, being able to read or write.
I've come to the local pub to hear my dad's take on my illiteracy.
You came out of school, the baby school, and they said you can't read and write. Nobody ever heard of the word dyslexia at that stage, never mind being able to spell it. And then you go to the next school, and they just said you didn't like school and you were lazy. And, well, I didn't like school, your ma didn't like school, so you just put it down to you've been slow read. What the hell? That would be my attitude to it anyway.
I know I was lazy. Like, I know I didn't open the book, but was it because I was lazy or because I just didn't understand it?
You couldn't read it when you opened it.
Yeah, it was so difficult to break it down, and it took so much time. By the time a teacher had said something that I didn't understand, before I'd kind of said, what does that mean? It's moved on. Yeah. And as it moves on, all of a sudden you go, well, I'm fucking saying nothing, because it's they're way gone. You know, the class has gone ahead of the game. So you don't dare say anything.
For most kids who leave school without any qualifications, the future is bleak. But I was incredibly lucky.
Welcome back.
Hey, look, it's never bad to be back, that's for sure.
Oh, yeah. No.
I was mad about cars, and my dad set me to work at his garage.
I think in all that I do in life, I think the most passion I have is certainly for cars.
Yeah, I'm the same.
You know, certainly is.
You may not like to admit it, but in ways you're a huge chip off the old block.
I've no problem in admitting that. I do know that, believe me, I know that. This was a dream place for me. I was delighted. Couldn't wait to get out of school. Couldn't wait to get out of school for obvious reasons, but at the same time, still to come here and be part of that family business. Obviously, things took a turn and away off. I went around the world, but I mean, this was definitely my dream, without a shadow of a doubt.
To get work as a mechanic today, you have to pass written exams, so working here would no longer be an option for me. In doing this program, I've agreed to talk about my illiteracy, but I didn't realise how strongly it would still affect me. Something I become very aware of when I'm asked to read from a mechanic's manual on camera.
Can you read this page out of that?
No fucking way, not here and now. That's not the right day for that.
Why is that?
No, I'm not prepared to do that at all. To be there like a bleeding lemon going, fuck that shit. I'd never allow that to be shown. I don't show weakness.
I think that's the key, though. That you're calling it a weak side.
And to get something wrong affects me. It affects me too much. So if I tried to read this for you, couldn't do it, I would feel I looked stupid because I couldn't read something, and I wouldn't sleep. I will not sleep tonight. I was happy talking about the emotions and all of that, but actually facing that demon, in respect, the demon's there, and I'm actually quite scared of that demon. So I don't know how to show that side. I can tell you all about it, but I can't show you. Yet.